Bonjour et bienvenue à bord. Today we're flying with Aircalin from Sydney to Noumea. The airline and the route might be unfamiliar for some of you, so let me explain a bit. Aircalin is an airline based in New Caledonia, a French territory comprising a number of islands in the South Pacific, which isn't too far away from the east coast of Australia. Since the flight is code-shaped with Qantas, this means that Qantas flyers can earn status and points when flying with them. The check-in experience wasn't particularly pleasant because it was slow and I waited for 45 minutes until it was my turn, even there wasn't a lot of people waiting. And next to us is Fiji Airways, which is also filled with people. And I always love to have a drink before my flight, stare out the window, looking at the tarmac and reflect on my life. And I also did some plane spotting before my flight.
Please check your boarding pass, row 34.
I don't know actually.
Well, the boarding pass was somewhat disappointing because I was expecting some colours or scheme on it instead of having a plain white boarding pass. And boarding commenced, and you know that feeling when you're about to step into an airline that you've never flown with before? Like that excitement of having that new car smell? Yeah, that's the sort of feeling that I'm having right now. I'm always excited about stepping into the cabin of an airline that I've never flown with before. And here we are, inside the Airbus A320, which is gonna bring us to Noumea in 2 hours and 30 minutes. And a standard 3D layout for economy class, with a very comfortable blue color as the theme. At the seat, there's a pair of seat belts and a cushion that acts as a back support. And here's a closer look at the cushion. But I think I prefer not having the cushion because that limits the seat pitch. And here's the seat overview. It's similar to those on Jetstar or any low-cost carriers. The legroom is pretty okay. And the only seat function is the seat recline. And this is how the road looks like across the aisle. And I'm just gonna take this opportunity to promote my new Instagram account for this channel, where you'll find regular updates on the work of this channel, as well as a sneak peek on what my future flight reports will be and look like. You will also see regular updates on my trips and whereabouts. The link for the Instagram account is just down below in the description. And here we have a stunning departure out of Sydney. And here are the seat pocket contents, which contains a safety card, in-flight magazine, a sickness bag and a booklet for tourists. The Tourist Information magazine gives you tips about activities, fares and the most important part of your life, which is staying connected to the outside world. If you choose to go with the pocket Wi-Fi option, you will find a booth at the arrival hall after you've cleared customs. There are also other information about tours and local transport, which is quite convenient when you want to do some last-minute planning on your flight. You can find this magazine in the city centre near the Coconut Square in case you need it after your arrival. And here comes the in-flight magazine, which is featured with the new A330neo. In the first few pages of the magazine, you can see the entirely new design of the cabin with a new business and economy class as well as a new premium economy class. All cabin classes now have in-flight entertainment. This is the first time that I've actually seen a safety card being printed in landscape instead of the traditional portrait. and it's finally time for lunch, and there's only one option, accompanied with your choice of drinks, which include alcohol and juice. Entree was a stone hard bread, and dessert, a chocolate mousse. There is also a slice of cheddar cheese that I didn't know how and where to use it with. So I decided to put it inside the bread so that it doesn't taste too plain. And it turns out that it actually isn't too bad. The main was chicken served with mashed potato, and the chicken was tender and the mash was full of flavour. I also enjoyed the chocolate mousse because the flavour really stands out. And after lunch I still had 90 minutes to kill and I was so bored. And I hope I had my iPad with me so that I can watch some movies. And we finally came into land to this beautiful country with a stunning shoreline that amazes me so much because I've seen nothing like this before. And while we're making this spectacular approach into Noumea, can I just promote my page here on website? Here, if you become my patron, you will receive a welcome gift and vote for which airline should I book with, and depending on your tier, you will receive different gifts on a regular basis. You will also have a sneak peek on my current progress of all my work before everyone else does, and since all my flights are self-funded, your little support will become the largest motivation for me. The link for the Patreon website is just down below in the description. Thanks for your support. Now here's some of my thoughts on this flight. I think the check-in experience was the only major flaw in this journey since it took so long for just a small amount of passengers waiting in the line. The aircraft also has low entertainment screens, but that's acceptable because it was an old aircraft. The crew were also friendly but could have been more observant or attentive because when they were collecting rubbish before landing, none of the crew saw me even though I lifted up my hand with the rubbish in my hand. Catering was also better than what I've expected. Bienvenue à Noumea, Madame et Monsieur. Welcome to Noumea, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed this flight report. And if you did, please consider subscribing to my channel so that you can see more content like this on YouTube in my channel. And here's where I'm staying, Baie de Citron or Lemon Bay. If you're interested in visiting this country with a heavy French influence, you mainly have two options. First, fly to Brisbane or Sydney, then connect to Noumea, or you can fly to Japan and then connect to Noumea. But just don't forget to practice some French. And I hope you've enjoyed this review and see you next time.